No, actually, all that was absolutely true. I like to keep busy. I am local. I went to UC Irvine, couldn't leave. It's too nice around here. I'm living in Costa Mesa now. Our company's located right in Tustin. We're the right size. I actually did bring some flyers just to point out kind of what the new cards are going to look like. You know, supposedly everyone is supposed to have the new terminals if you're a retail business up front where they can slide their card with these new terminals. Well, when I say we're the right size company, if you ever have an issue, you give us a call. And we'll call American Express for you. We will call, the processing bank and see what happened in there and why that payment's on hold for you. But we've also sold out of the Ingenicos for the time being because people are finally getting around to getting them. What's cool about the next one down, though, is it has that newfangled dangled Apple Pay where you just take your phone and hold it up to it. So it's got the kind of the Wi-Fi signal that'll pick up on Apple Pay. Google's doing it now. So we have the technology to really accommodate everyone as we move forward with these new cards, which again, October 1st. Although, she said I was always on my game. I didn't sleep a wink last night, not one wink. I gotta go to Vegas for work. I gotta go to Vegas for work. As soon as this meeting's over, I gotta get to John Wayne and go out for a conference. And in my insomnia, I was just perusing the news websites, and I was, oddly enough, they wanted to let the consumer know about really what's happening. Only 25% of business owners have the new terminals in their storefronts. Now, there are some mitigating factors in there. If you're set up in such a way that you're really taking one payment at the end, and you may keep a card number or take it over the phone, you're what we call Moto. Mark Holmes, for example, does that. He does the work, and then he just punches it into the terminal. Well, he's set up for Moto. Mail order, telephone order. It just means you punch the numbers into your terminal. He's fine. He's good to go. He doesn't need a new terminal. The only thing that's going to change for him is if that terminal breaks, we can't come out and fix it anymore. You have to get a new terminal at that point, but that's really the only change for him. But if you're taking cards, it's going to be a whole new thing, and I know y'all have them in your wallet, at least most of them. I love saying how they fought over who was going to pay for this for years and years and years. The banks fought the credit card companies, and if you can imagine American Congress and lobbyists, these are the two most moneyed interests in America. It's like if you throw the oil companies in there, it would be 10 years until we saw anything actually change. So they fought forever. It took 6 years until Visa stepped up and said, all right, we're doing this. Because Americans, we did 36% of global credit card transactions. We were responsible for 80% of credit card fraud and identity theft. And it's that technology that we were just not getting on board with. And I think Visa really had a good idea to really get on it, because when they're doing those credit transactions, I know from past experience, they'll just say, okay, the charge is waived. You didn't do that. You don't live in Arizona. There it is, boom, and they just take it off like that. But I don't think they want to leave themselves open to pay those types of charges anymore. So new terminals are coming out. I gave you my statistics. Does anybody have any questions? Because really that's what I took the opportunity to speak again, because we have 5 days until supposedly everybody in America is supposed to have these, and 25% of the business owners do. So I'm sorry, Sean rose his hand first. I would do ladies first, but I think I missed you last time I spoke. So,
so you're looking for like restaurants, bars, whoever uses credit card.
Hairdressers.
Yeah. You'd be really surprised. I've got a dry cleaner I absolutely love, and he's locked in a contract, and he does a clip. You'd be surprised at some of those storefronts, those tobacco shops, do an absolute clip. I don't understand. I don't know why any of you would be in there, but they're just really good storefronts. Bars, absolutely. Restaurants, absolutely. Initially, the idea was that the card is never going to leave the consumer's hand, but I think that's a little too much too soon for the American public. So I think we're still going to hand cards to waiters in those types of situations. One nice thing about us, though, is I've been looking around, and we do have the same terminals as everybody else, but we sell them for the cheapest, so that's nice. That's a nice foot in the door. I'm sorry, it's an expense you have to pay, but at least we're going to mitigate it. We're going to make it as painless as possible, which is what the doctor says before he sticks a needle in your arm and gives you a vaccination. So yeah, I mean, and then another thing, hopefully to sweeten the pot, is we have, my boss says 20,000 accounts. I think he means historically. I believe we have about 10,000 accounts right now. Just start a little shop in Tustin. We have enough accounts to hire a full-time staff, things like that. But we have the bargaining power to really help you guys out, because all of the people in my position are just fighting against each other for business. And so we, of course, like everybody else in this group, need to turn a profit. But in my personal opinion, I want to be the last account you ever have. I want to be the cheapest one you can get, and then you're never going anywhere. That's my dream. That way, you know, I know for a fact I'm doing business with you, and I like it that way. I hope that answers the question. Yeah, I'm looking for anything. If you see the old terminal, if they're still swiping, ask them why. I think that's a good lead right there.
Yeah, I was really surprised at the big stores that still are having you swipe it, and they're set up for it.
Walmart and Target are all over it. Again, this isn't just, oh, okay, we're doing this in 3 months. This was 6 years in the making. But I actually, now that I think about it, I believe the Chamber of Commerce was involved in the lobbying as well. So it was a three-way fight, if I remember correctly. Because the Chamber of Commerce didn't want the business owners to have to pay for it. Visa didn't want to pay for it, and the banks didn't want to pay for it. So they just butted heads for years and years and years. Like, the technology hasn't been there, because if you've ever traveled to Europe and seen how they do it over there, they've had these cards since 1995. So, please, Val. Val did have her hand up. Sherry.
In my own situation, where our credit card is with our automotive association, and I've been wanting to call you because I thought, according to the processor or the people, they said I have the machine. They don't have the software installed in that. Is that something you've heard? And then they told me that they're working on it. It is going to get installed, but not till after October 1st. But they will take responsibility if anything happens.
That's good, because that actually is the change. Is now you're on the hook if you have the old terminal, and if they're going to take responsibility.
But according to I have the terminal, it just doesn't have the software. No, I don't. That's not true, is it?
I mean, you've probably seen them at Target. It's just different. I wanted to bring one in, and we're sending them all out right now. So I went by the office yesterday, and I'm like, hey, I need to get one of the terminals. And we looked through 10 empty boxes, and the 4 that we had right now, we're all getting programmed to send out. But what the new ones do is you're actually going to insert the card up to the chip completely in there. It might be frustrating if you're ever in line at a convenience store, because it takes an extra minute to read. Yeah, a minute's maybe too long, but it takes an extra.
But you can do that. There is something that you can do. It doesn't right now.
So you can insert in.
You can insert it in there.
Then you might have it.
Might have it. Okay.
Because I've come to you, and I remember your terminal being a.
No, it's I swipe it, but it's also, you could put that in there. It doesn't work.
Maybe it's the software, yeah, then they need to reprogram different software in that
I
case.
was very leery about that.
Yeah, or I'll just come in. Actually, I need an oil change, and probably my tires rotated. So I'll just swing on by, take a look, tell you it's okay, have a cup of coffee. Absolutely. No, I mean it. I need to get my oil change. Sherry?
What does a new terminal cost?
$250.
How much?
For the one we don't have, $250.
I thought you were like, $1,200.
Yeah, no, I'm starting at the bottom, but then I had to add the addendum. We're currently out of them because those went first. The slightly cooler one, the Apple Pay, that one, actually a very reputable company, a really good under warranty machine. That's $299, so that's nice. That's not much more than that, especially But yeah, like I said, I've been hearing horror stories, and we do have the lowest ones. I just started with the lowest one and then told you we're out.
So,
I told you.
We're sold out.
so you own those outright, that's not a lease?
Absolutely not. No. One great thing about this company, and one of the things I really liked about it, is you're not locked in with us, ever. You find someone better, take off. That's cool. No monthly minimums. So if you don't do a charge all month, I'm not charging you $30. Now we do pass on the fees that we get from the bank. There is an insurance in there. There is another thing, a wireless, if that ever happens, if you're using it on your phone, we pass those along. But we're not going to throw, that's going to be $25, not $55, just so we make some money. And then another thing is we never lease terminals. That's a crock who makes people like me look real bad, which is why you all give me that look when I start talking about credit card processing. I know there's lots of us out there. A big competitive market. It attracts some good dealers and some shady dealers. I believe Dana had a question.
Yeah, how does this new having the chip in the card affect somebody who's just like the Square swipe?
Square is selling new EMV readers. Yeah, EMV, Eurocard, MasterCard, Visa. Europay, MasterCard, Visa. Square is now selling new ones of those.
New Squares.
Exactly, and they're all going to be Bluetooth operated because there's so many different phones and plugins and such. So it's now just a Bluetooth connection, and you are going to dip it into that unit now. It's going to be slightly larger, but I mean, that's what you have to do with the new cards. That's what you have to do with the new cards.
So you guys are gonna sell those too?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you know how much that's gonna be?
No, not yet. We don't have them yet. Yeah, and that's
It's coming.
should have. Is my time up, guys? No, yeah, it's coming right now.
You call me when it comes.
Absolutely, no. That's absolutely the setup where I gave her old reader, and when the new one comes, I just told her we'll talk about it, or we'll get you one, and we don't lease them. We do not lease them, but if you need some financing or anything like that, we're happy to do that. We'll break it into 3 payments, something like that. But just to make it more painless on you, see?
So I have a question. You're a third-party credit card service provider, right?
Correct.
Okay. And how do you charge for the services? By unit price, average unit price of the retailer sold, or the
Yeah, it's actually really, really complicated, and credit cards do that on purpose to, So actually, if 3 of you pulled out your credit cards, you'd have 3 different rates. So what we can do is we can group them together and make accounting a lot easier, where we put similar types into a catch-all, where the most expensive ones in that group will be what we're charging you, but then off the lower ones, we get a little something. I like Interchange Plus, John Thomas, that's what we did with him. And what that literally does, it's a little bit longer on the sheet of paper, but it's called true pricing. It's called pass-through pricing. It's actually how defense contractors did it in World War II. The government said, well, pay your cost plus this for your profit, for your time, for your effort. That's the way I like to do it, and at that point, you're paying the true cost of the card, and then you pay hundredths of a percent. We call them basis points, but you pay hundredths of a percent on top of that, and we can look at how much you do in a month and make you offers based on, it's rough, but just like Walmart can sell you charcoal for cheaper than Ace Hardware can. It's because they're bigger, they buy more, things like that. So we'll actually look at the end result, see what we both can live with, and try again to be that last account. And sometimes when you start small with us, we're so appreciative that if you give us a call 2 years down the road, we'll say, absolutely, we didn't realize your business would grow to 3 locations and you're doing this much a month. We can go down to here now. So that's always a really nice thing, again, about this company, because we don't want you to go anywhere and you're free to leave at any time. I feel like I've been bloviating over 10 minutes, but I'm having a really nice time. Are we good? Are we okay?
We have 15 minutes, We're good. That's good news.
Oh, was it? Thank you, everybody.
Good job.
Oh, yeah, it's 5 and 15.